On this date, 18 years ago, two planes were hijacked and collided to the Twin Towers. This terrorist attack killed 2,996 people. Among them were civilians on the plane, in the building, and first responders trying to help them. At 8:45 a.m., American Airlines plane 767 crashed into the North Twin Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. At 9:03, American Airlines plane 175 crashed into the South Twin Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City.
September 11th, 2001 was a really interesting day for me. I was teaching at Yavapai College, but on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I had a long-term sub position for the local middle school just to help out. So it was early in the morning, and my mother-in-law at the time was supposed to be in New York, and her schedule said the trade centers. I was at home with my newborn baby and getting ready to go to work when I got a phone call. We hadn't had the news on, and so I was told to turn on the news. And I saw the towers. I guess I was just shocked. Worried we couldn't get a call through to New York, and not knowing what was happening with her, but I also knew someone that was a close friend that worked in the towers. Pacing, not knowing what was going on with the world, waiting for more attacks, finding out about the Pentagon, it was kind of chaotic. Even here in Arizona, seeming so far away, we were just stopped. People didn't know what to do or what to say. I ended up going to work. And I had a classroom of 7th and 8th graders that day who had so many questions, and there was no answers. Were we going to war? Should we prepare? What should we do? What can we say? And all we could do was watch the news and wait. I guess the next couple of days were the hardest, not knowing. We finally got a hold of my mother-in-law and found out she was okay, that by some freak accident, she wasn't feeling well that morning with her heart and had decided to stay at her brother's that night and not go to the Trade Center. I wasn't so lucky with my friend Alex. I found out about a week later that he was in the second tower. And about a few months later, I got to hear the phone call that was left behind. I'm not sure his parents ever really recovered. I know I never did, and I still miss him. It was really interesting to watch the country after that. People lining up to donate blood. Recruiting for the military was around the block. Patriotism soared. And all I could do was kind of still sit frozen. I mean, I grew up in a military house. So for me, people going to war or going off to do things was kind of common. And yet somehow, this time, it was really different. So we just kept moving, kept hugging, put one foot in front of the other. And time passed. I guess really what 9/11 means to me now is remembrance. Not only for the people who worked it, and I know people who went out and weeks later went and were still clearing through the rubble, through the guys I know who joined the military after or went back in, for my friend who passed away. It's just the idea that it was the first time in this country we weren't safe. And I had heard my grandparents talk about Pearl Harbor, and I had heard other people talk about being in Desert Storm, but it was the first time I think I didn't feel safe. And so for me, as time goes on, I just remember that it could always happen again. That it could always be us. And just, it's really important as generations move on who didn't experience it, that we really just don't ever forget.